This is Jilliana Ranicar-Breese, and this is part 4 of my conversation with Alex Pearson. Go ahead, Alex.
So I think we were...
You're still in Mongolia.
In Mongolia now.
In a yurt.
Okay. In a yurt. Well, I did do a great journey. We took a month. We hired a jeep. We called him Nosedive Nikolai because we did a lot of nosediving. When was that? It was about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. We drove 2,100 kilometres. 100 was on tarmac. Everything else was just on the grasslands or through the desert. So, magnificent adventure with tents, and in the evening we'd find a place where there was water or nearby so that we could.
Were you eating barbecues, or were you eating local food? Or
well, we didn't cross many villages. We might go for days and days without even crossing a person. Actually,
so you had to take your own provisions. So was it like the Wild West? You know, cooking on stoves and
very sophisticated camping. I'll have you know. I mean, because we had
so it wasn't baked beans, or
well, it was a lot of tin stuff. Yeah, so it wasn't a great. It wasn't a great diet.
Spam.
I've had better diets camping elsewhere. This was pretty basic.
Yes, I mean, what is the Mongolian diet?
Well, they're big, of course, on lamb.
Are they?
Because it's grasslands and that's what they raise.
Barbecues, yes. They have Mongolian barbecues, don't they?
And if you're in town, then you do get either hot pots or big bowls of stewed lamb or goat or, And then...
What happens if you're a vegetarian?
Yeah, but
No fish?
No fish.
Oh,
no.
Interesting.
And then even the vegetables, not that many, because they've got a brutally cold and long winter. And now, of course, in places like Ulaanbaatar, they've got greenhouses, so they're beginning to branch out with their vegetables. But certainly it used to be very much kind of tomatoes, cucumbers, and onions, actually, those three.
Oh, could make a Greek salad.
You can.
Your own
it's not. Yeah, that's right. So not bad diet really, but a little bit restricted.
Yeah.
But wonderful, wonderful people and landscape to feed the soul for months. I mean, really
wonderful.
Really wonderful. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you came back to Beijing.
Yes. So that was kind of
But you said things had changed.
Things were changing all the time.
What year was this?
So now we're talking
10 years ago.
Well, change started really with the Olympics.
Oh, what year was that?
Oh God, now you're testing me. 2008.
Right.
I think.
Okay.
And for Beijing to win
what do you mean things changed? Do you mean commercially?
Yeah. Beijing won the bid for the Olympics.
Right.
And this was a major thing for China because they were now going to be seen seriously as a world player.
Right.
And boy, did they get their act together.
Right.
They built stadiums, they built swimming pools, absolutely state-of-the-art facilities for the Olympics. But they also had to increase infrastructure in terms of hotels and airports and restaurants.
Yeah.
So that, in a way, I think the Olympics was the catalyst for major change.
Right.
So, of course, that's good, right?
Yeah.
And then, kind of go on years after that, the change continues. A lot of people from the countryside where they're very poor are moving into the cities. Right. China is building more cities. Loads more cities all the time. And so it's just a changing, emerging market.
So you felt that you were no longer a pioneer?
There was less and less space for pioneering. Definitely. And I think my quality of life wasn't what I needed it to be. So I've always...
Were you living in a house or an apartment?
In an apartment.
Right.
Yeah, but I could get to the mountains
very easily. On your own or with friends?
Nope. By myself, yeah.
Okay.
And it was a good life, You could get to the hills. In winter we would skate on the reservoirs and the lakes. But as wealth came, cars came. With cars came traffic, so it got harder and harder to get to the mountains. And then my life began to change because then you're city locked. And I can't...
What's the population of Beijing?
My guess, official about 15 million.
15?
Unofficial, probably closer to 30. I'm not actually sure. A lot of people.
And when you were first there?
Don't know, but a lot less.
Okay.
A lot less.
Yeah.
It used to take me 45 minutes to get to the hills. And then when I left, it was taking, it could be 3 hours.
Oh.
It didn't even bother. Yeah.
Right. So your quality of life was not the same.
It was not the same. You know, I am somebody who needs nature.
Right.
It does make me happy.
Yes.
Internally.
Yes. Yes.
And if you can't get that, then that's no good.
Okay.
So this was a good opportunity, 25 years in China, I
yes.
think 25 years in any country.
Quarter of a century, I agree with you.
So this was a good opportunity
yes. I gave up antiques after 25 years.
There
yes.
You go.
Yes, you have to move on.
You've got to move on.
Yes.
And I was quite keen to try England.
What about the spiritual side?
Well, for me, you mean?
Well, presumably China has a spiritual side too.
Of course.
Did you get involved with that?
No.
Not at all.
I knew it's there, and of course I knew people who were religious, either Buddhist or Christian, or actually all of them, Muslim.
Yes.
All the religions are there.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then of course the philosophies. And,
yes, I think I'm talking
Taoist
more about
and,
the yeah.
So it's all there, and it's needed.
Yes.
And of course, much like England, actually, when there is a bit of a void, or it's becoming just consumerism, then there's even more of a need for some sort of...
So what was it that spurred you on to move back to England? Was there any one thing? Did something happen? Did you have an epiphany?
No, afraid not.
No?
No, it really wasn't about that. I think it was the collision of lots of things.
Right.
It was the collision of my life was changing, the not being able to get to the mountains.
Yes.
I was approaching 45.
Right.
I reckoned 45 was a good time.
Yes.
Because that gave you a good 20 years to rebuild.
Yes.
From scratch.
Yes, yes.
In a country that
you're very
really
brave.
know.
I admire you.
And I also, it was by that time, 12 years at the Bookworm.
Yes.
Doing training and stuff. I just
been there, done that.
Wanted something
yes. New. Moving on.
Yeah.
So, how did you have the concept of the Yurt Academy, which is what you're doing now in England? Well, actually in Brighton.
In retrospect, I realised that it was kind of born of what I was already doing at the Bookworm, which is sharing of ideas. But rather than this being focused on literature, it was let's tap in to the brilliance in our community. And I've only been here a short period, but boy, have I met brilliant people.
But you were recommended to come to Brighton because Brighton is a creative hub.
Yes. And pro-independent business, which of course I'm a great supporter of. And
it's by the sea, and it's near the Downs, as you quite rightly said.
Absolutely love it.
Near Gatwick Airport.
Yeah, I mean it's a great.
And
city.
London, of course, it's near London.
Yeah, it's convenient, but it's very beautiful, and it is full of interesting people.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So you meet these interesting people, and you think, my God, you're absolutely brilliant at that.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely brilliant at that.
Yes.
But you're not telling anybody because there's no way for you to tell anybody. So that's how the Yurt Academy came about. If I could create a business model that meant I could tap into people's brilliance to share at an affordable price and affordable in time with the community, then this potentially is a very good idea.
Right, well, we'll come on to that in the last episode. Thank you very much, Alex.